Hey everybody, Ryan here at eTrailer. Today we're going to be checking out and showing you how to install the Optronics self-grounding light housing for those Optronics 90 and 91 series lights. Whenever you're redoing lights on your trailer, even adding them, it's a good idea just to kind of cover all your bases and replace everything. That way everything's new and you're not relying on old stuff, because trailer wiring, it just gets beat up and wore out, and that's just kind of the fact of the matter there. And the same holds true with these type of housings. Since these are self-grounding, these are going to provide us with the ground. All right, so this is our old one, just for example. The light, you have a power wire going into it, and then the other portion of light plugs into the ring there, and that gives us the ground. So, if this gets corroded or beat up, your light's not going to work. Simple as that. And so whenever I do lights, unless everything looks like it's in real good shape, I usually just replace it all, put a new wiring pigtail on there, new light, new housing, and call it a day. So these are going to make a good replacement. That's what was on our trailer already, and so why mix it up? We just got a replacement there. If you have a metal trailer, these can even potentially be an upgrade, but these being self-grounding can eliminate one more wire, really, a ground wire. So what happens when you plug the light in, it goes around that ring, and then the strap comes over, and where you have it secured to the steel frame, that's going to provide the ground. And so you don't need to worry about it. Now, in our case, it's not entirely like that. Since our fenders are fiberglass, I do have a ground wire on the back side of a rivet that goes to the steel frame, but no different than any other style of light that we'd have to use for this anyway. So it still works out, and like I said, a direct replacement is a no-brainer when it comes to doing stuff like this, at least in my opinion. Now, if you're wondering if these are going to work with your particular application, I'll go over some measurements. So they're going to be 2 7/8 of an inch long, 1.5 inches wide, a 1/2 inch deep, or how thick it's going to be. Then from center point to center point there where the mounting holes are, that's going to be 2 inches. And so pretty standard stuff. It's pretty typical light you would see. And like I said, these are just going to snap right in there. And these are also available in chrome too. So if that's kind of the style of your trailer, that's always an option. You can get the different color or chrome molding. With all that said though, that's really about it. As far as getting this installed, really not much to it. Matter of fact, we're just going to go over the whole thing here. I'm going to do my wire, the housing, and replace the light. So I feel like that's pretty typical of what most people would be doing. So why don't we go ahead and do that together now. To begin our installation, first things first, we need to remove all the old stuff. So with our light, take a flathead screwdriver and you just pry that out. And obviously we'll disconnect it there and push that wire out of the way. And then we will remove our old housing. So this one is riveted in. And with these, you just drill out the center. So take a drill bit just big enough. Drill them out. And we can get this old stuff removed here. Now we can get our new housing installed. So with these, I like to use rivets to secure them. I would imagine you could use a nut and a bolt if you wanted to, or a screw, but I'm using the rivets. And since if the frame of your trailer is metal, when you screw this in, this will ground it to the frame and you'll be good. Since ours is fiberglass here, we have to do something a little bit different. We actually have a ground wire with a ring terminal on it that is connected to the metal part of our frame. And you could either run this through the hole like that and rivet it there, or so we don't have a lot of room, so I'm actually going to do it on the back side. So for example, our rivet will push through. If I can get it through here. It's pretty tight, which is a good thing. So if you can imagine, this will go through the fiberglass and rivet it on, and then this wire will be on the back side of it. And whenever you huck this rivet, it's going to smash this wire and make it really tight. So the ring terminal will have a good connection to our rivet, which in turn will connect it to our grounding post there. So it's the same difference if you were to do it up here or back here, just whatever's easier. Like I said though, because of our space, I am going to do it on the back side. So I'm gonna get that on there. Get this other one in. Probably just huck this one first to keep it in place. Now we can get our new power wire, our pigtail hooked up. So with this, you can strip back the end of the insulation, which I have done, and this is going to get connected to our existing power wire here using a butt connector. And while I'm doing this, I'm just going to take another piece of wire I have laying around and put it in there as well. That way I can redo my license plate and stuff too. So think about those little types of things when you're doing your wiring. You know, if you're going to be doing other stuff while you're at it, you know, if you can do it all at once, and that's definitely the way. So we have our power wire for our light, and then my extra one that I'll use later on for my license plate. I'm going to twist these together and then put them in the butt connector. And we'll crimp it down. Get a good connection. I prefer these heat shrink butt connectors because we can seal up the ends and help prevent corrosion and things like that. So with that all done, I'll grab my heat source and get them sealed up. Now what we have left to do is just to take our light, plug the power wire into it, and we'll get this plugged into our housing here. It's usually not this difficult. There's so much, this undercoating on here just makes everything so tight. Plug this in though, you want to make sure it actually plugs into that grounding ring, which it did. It felt, clearly was super tight, but it's in there good. I want to do the same thing over on the other side of our trailer to replace that light, and then we'll come back and make sure they work. So I got the other side done, and now we'll check them. So I plugged into a test box. You can also use your truck, but keep in mind if your truck has any issues that could translate, make you think something's wrong with the wiring. But I'll go ahead, plug or turn on our test box and see that everything works. And that'll finish up our look at and our installation of the Optronics self-grounding light housing for 90 and 91 series lights.